Hey everyone, welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today we're looking at Dan Bongino's new role as the FBI's deputy director.
Yeah, it's definitely been making headlines.
It has, and whether you're on the left, right, or somewhere in between, this guy's journey to the top is, well, pretty wild.
You can say that again. We're going to be digging into his whole story from his time on the streets of New York as a cop to guarding presidents to being a podcaster in his basement and then becoming this conservative media giant. And of course, we got to look at how he ended up in this controversial spot thanks to Trump.
Bongino started out in law enforcement, first NYPD, pounding the pavement, then Secret Service protecting Presidents Bush and Obama. Talk about trust. What goes into guarding a president, let alone two from different parties?
What's the most intense vetting you can imagine? Background checks that go way back, psych evaluations, they're watching you all the time. To get that close to a president, any president, it really says something about Bongino's dedication and how he handles pressure. He also got an award from the Justice Department for his work on financial fraud cases.
Really?
Yeah, kind of shows you there's more to him than meets the eye, right?
You picture this tough-talking, outspoken guy, but then you hear about the detail-oriented work on financial crimes. Makes you wonder, did he always want to get into politics, or did that come later?
He did run for Congress 3 times and lost every time. Maryland Senate in 2012, then Maryland's 6th district in 2014, then Florida's 19th in 2016. So maybe that's what pushed him towards a different kind of power. Media.
And what a jump it was. Started a podcast right from his basement, put in 10 grand, built it into a media empire worth millions. Classic American dream story.
It's a testament to how much conservative media is growing. His podcast, The Renegade Republican, took off like crazy. Then he was on Fox News, launched the Bongino Report, and then boom, he snagged Rush Limbaugh's old radio slot. Talk about influence.
So we've got law enforcement, political ambitions, and this media master all rolled into one kind of strange mix when you think about him leading the FBI. What do you all think about his career path so far? Let us know in the comments.
And while you're down there, don't forget to like and subscribe. It really helps us out and lets us keep bringing you these deep dives.
Okay, so back to Bongino. He left Fox News in 2023, but it's just a contract thing, no big conspiracy there. But he's super conservative supports. Trump got banned from YouTube for COVID misinformation. It's a lot to unpack when you consider him as deputy director of the FBI. I mean, what does that job even mean?
Well, he's basically number 2 at the FBI, in charge of all their operations here and around the world. He's got a huge say in what the FBI focuses on and how they do things. And here's the kicker. Bongino's never worked for the FBI before.
Wow.
Other deputy directors, they've spent their whole careers climbing the ranks in the bureau. They know how it works inside and out.
It's a huge difference, right? You usually have someone from inside the FBI who's been there forever, knows the culture, knows the rules. And then you bring in Bongino, this outsider, mostly known for law enforcement and being on TV. Lots of questions there.
Will these different styles clash? Will Bongino try to fit in with the FBI or try to change it? What does his appointment say about what Trump wants the FBI to be? We're going to get into all that as we dig deeper.
Sponsor break, vidIQ. Are you a YouTube content creator trying to grow your channel? vidIQ is the ultimate AI-powered tool that helps you rank higher in search results, get more views, and crack the YouTube algorithm. Find the best keywords to make your videos trend. Analyze your competition to see what's working. AI-powered video ideas to help you create content people want to watch. Real-time analytics so you can grow faster. Stop guessing, start growing. Try vidIQ today. Click the link in the description. Have you used vidIQ before? Tell us in the comments if you've tried it and what you think.
So we're back, and here on Standing in the Gaps News, we like to get into the nitty-gritty, really untangle things, and this is a real knot.
It is Bongino's appointment. It's unprecedented. FBI deputy directors, usually they come up through the ranks.
You're talking about people who've dedicated their careers to the bureau, working their way up, understanding all the little details.
They bring this deep institutional knowledge. They know the culture, the procedures, how to work with other agencies. Bongino, he's coming from a completely different world. Mostly law enforcement and media.
Two fields that operate so differently from intelligence.
Exactly, and that's where the worry about a culture clash comes in. You know, Bongino, he's outspoken strong opinions, and the FBI has always tried to stay out of politics. There's this fear that he could make the agency political, and that would really hurt their credibility and people's trust.
The FBI's reputation is all about being impartial, upholding the law no matter what the politics are. If people start seeing them as a tool for one side or the other, it can mess up their investigations, prosecutions, everything.
Exactly, and that's why this appointment has people talking. Will Bongino focus on law enforcement, or will he push a political agenda? Will he use his power to go after people Trump sees as enemies? Can he keep the FBI independent? These are questions everyone's asking left and right.
Easy answers. What do you all think about this potential conflict between Bongino's views and what the FBI is supposed to be? Okay, so let's look at some specific areas where Bongino might have a big impact. Counterterrorism. It's always the top priority for the FBI. And Bongino's pretty clear about his views on national security. He's a big supporter of Trump's policies. He's talked a lot about the deep state and agrees with Trump on things like immigration and Islamic terrorism.
Yeah, and we should probably unpack what he means by deep. He's talking about this idea that there are unelected officials in the government who are working against Trump and his agenda. It's a popular idea in some conservative circles, but there's no real evidence for it. A lot of people call it a conspiracy theory. But the fact that Bongino believes it could definitely affect how he handles counterterrorism and what he sees as the biggest threats.
Will he change the FBI's counterterrorism strategy? Will they get more aggressive, maybe targeting specific groups based on religion or ethnicity? Or will he stick with the way the FBI already does things, focusing on evidence and working with different communities?
Those are the key questions, and his past comments might give us some clues. Remember how vocal he was about the January 6th attack on the Capitol? He downplayed the role of Trump supporters and said it was Antifa, even though there's no evidence of that. So his views on domestic terrorism could change how the FBI investigates and prosecutes those cases.
And that raises concerns about bias in investigations. Are they going to unfairly target certain groups or ideologies? Transparency and accountability are going to be super important here. The FBI needs to stick to impartial investigations no matter what the political pressure is or what someone's personal beliefs are.
The FBI's legitimacy depends on them being a neutral force for justice, following the evidence wherever it leads, no bias, no favoritism. Everyone's going to be watching Bongino to see how he handles this and whether he can stay impartial.
It's a fascinating situation. How will Bongino's background and his beliefs affect how he deals with counterterrorism? Big changes or same old FBI? Drop a comment below and let us know. Now, before we move on, let's just zoom out for a second. This whole situation shows how tricky it is for the FBI to find that balance. They've always been known for their careful procedures, their focus on evidence and objectivity, staying out of politics.
And then you bring in Bongino, this outspoken media personality who's made a career out of challenging the status quo, stirring up controversy. It's a clash of styles, and no one knows how it's going to play out. Will he try to change the FBI to fit his mold, or will he adapt to their traditions? Only time will tell.
There's another area where he could really shake things up, cybersecurity.
Cybersecurity is a huge deal these days. The threats are always changing, coming from everywhere. Countries, criminals, hackers, you name it. And the FBI, they're right in the middle of it all, trying to protect us. Bongino's take on this is especially interesting when you think about China.
He's been really out there accusing China of waging cyber warfare against us, stealing secrets, messing with our economy and national security. So it seems like cybersecurity is going to be a top priority for him at the FBI.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty safe bet. The threat from China in cyberspace, it's real, it's growing. But the big question is, how will Bongino handle it? Will he focus more on attacking than defending? Will he be more likely to launch cyber operations against anyone he sees as an enemy? And maybe most importantly, can he keep his personal opinions and political leanings out of it and make sure the FBI's decisions are based on evidence, not just ideology?
That's the heart of it, isn't it? I mean, we've seen him push conspiracy theories and spread misinformation before, so it does make you wonder about his judgment and objectivity. Cybersecurity needs facts, evidence-based analysis, a clear head. If the FBI starts making accusations or doing things based on shaky evidence or political reasons, it could wreck their credibility and mess up international cooperation on fighting these threats.
You're exactly right. False accusations or reckless actions in cyberspace can have huge consequences, could escalate things with other countries, could even trigger retaliation. It's a delicate area. You need a careful strategic approach. So it'd be interesting to see how Bongino plays this. Will he stick with the FBI's established ways and expertise? Or will he try to do things his own way based on his beliefs and who he's loyal to?
It's a big question with big consequences, and we'll definitely be keeping an eye on it.
Oh.
Now, before we wrap up this deep dive, I want to touch on one more crucial thing. Public perception of the FBI. Their whole operation depends on people trusting them and working with them. And that's already tough enough in this supercharged political climate we're in.
Yeah, that's a really important point. Bongino's appointment has gotten mixed reactions. Some people support it, some are really skeptical. His history of inflammatory language and taking sides has definitely raised doubts about whether he can lead the FBI in a nonpartisan professional way. On top of that, he was appointed by Trump, who's been openly critical of the FBI, tried to discredit them. So yeah, there's a lot of scrutiny. It could definitely hurt public trust.
Exactly. People need to believe that the FBI is playing fair, being impartial, working for the good of the country, no matter who's in the White House or running the bureau. If that trust breaks down, it can make it way harder for them to investigate crimes, gather intelligence, keep the country safe. It could also embolden people who want to break the law or take advantage of weaknesses in the system.
No doubt, it's a tricky situation. Bongino's leadership is going to be tested right away, and everyone's going to be watching what he does, supporters and critics alike. Will he try to bring people together, reassure the skeptics, show that he's committed to being impartial? Or will he just keep pushing his partisan agenda and alienate people even more? The answers to those questions, they're going to have a huge impact, not just on the FBI, but on the whole political scene.
This has been a deep dive, folks, exploring Dan Bongino's story and what his move to the FBI could mean. We've covered a lot, but this is just the beginning of what's sure to be a fascinating and crucial chapter in the Bureau's story. We encourage you to stay informed, stay engaged, and keep those critical thinking skills sharp.
We want to hear from you. What are your thoughts on Bongino taking over? What are your hopes and fears for the FBI with him in charge? Share your thoughts in the comments, and let's keep this conversation going.
Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more in-depth analysis of the news that matters.
And if you're digging our content and want to support what we're doing, please think about donating to our GoFundMe campaign. Your contribution will help us upgrade our equipment, make our videos even better, and reach more people. Every bit helps us keep bringing you insightful, independent journalism.
Thanks for joining us on the Deep Dive. Until next time, keep standing in the gaps.